Welcome back to Stay in Your Lane with Ashley Battersby.
Welcome back, everybody. We hope you're enjoying the show so far. We were just on with Ron and Renee Gilchrist going through his journey after his ordeal. As we spoke about, he shattered every bone in his face, which was wow. But basically, it all came down to the helmet. So here we have Steve Zacuto from Cycle Care Limited, the helmet guru, to drop some gems and tell us the do's and the don'ts of the different helmets, the quality, the safety. So let's get into it. Steve, tell us what you have for us today.
Yes, good. So I'd like to start by talking about our helmet trade-in that everybody heard about. And before we talk about Nolan helmets, for which we are the exclusive dealer for, I'd like to talk about the helmets that were traded in. Over the last 3 years, I estimate we traded in about 4,000 helmets, and people traded up to Nolan helmets. And what we learned over that time, which a lot of people don't realize, is the amount of unsafe helmets that are out there. People think that my helmet looks good, it has no scratches on it, means it's okay. And what I want to, have people understand that is that the helmet's made up of different parts. You got the outer shell, you got the inner foam, and then you got the sponge. Often people think if the outer shell gets a little scratch, they got to change it, or the inner sponge gets broken down, they got to change it. What they don't realize is the inner foam part. That's the part that absorbs the impact when your head hits the ground. So a lot of people don't realize when helmets gets past 3 or 5 years, that foam can harden up. So what happens when your head comes down against the ground with hardened up foam? That doesn't absorb the impact like it's supposed to. So that's what I'd like to talk to you about that. And then during that trade-in, we saw people bringing in helmets that were 20 plus years old, thinking that, oh, it doesn't have a scratch on it. The other thing that we find is people often come with their helmets, they say, why are they so expensive? And what we find with Nolan helmet, the difference is Nolan is made with a material called Lexan, 100% Lexan, which is a product that's used in bulletproof glass. So that product is, Nolan's the only helmet made with 100% Lexan. Yeah.
Okay, so as we see, we have some different helmets here. Can you tell us the different levels of protection that each one has?
Yeah, sure. So I have a few variety helmet here. This is the most popular helmet everybody knows, the N33. Yes. Everyone has that helmet. And this helmet gives you the full head protection back there, as you heard before from Ron and Renee. Ron was actually wearing one of these helmets. Unfortunately, he didn't have the facial protection, the shield on either the glass or the jaw protection. Now, what we all love about the open face helmet is the cool airflow. We love that cool feeling, air running past our ears. We like the lightweight feel of it. So what Nolan has come out with since that design of that helmet, this is the N33. This is now the new N34. Now this is the replacement to that helmet. And this helmet here with the dark visor comes up and you can see the thin jaw piece on there. Now the advantage to this helmet is it comes with 6 air vents along the front here, which allows 4 to 6 times more airflow than any other helmet on the market. I don't know if you can see through that helmet, the camera right there. You can actually see light right through the back of it. So on the back here, you have 5 air vents, allowing the airflow to travel right through. So the thing that we don't like about full face helmets is, the old stigma is they're heavy, they're clunky, they're hot. This helmet here is actually the same weight as the N33. It's the same dimensions as the N33, yet gives you the jaw protection that we're talking about. In the event that you don't want the jaw protection, it's also removable. But this helmet here kind of can replace that, and it still gives you the privacy. Once closed down with your full face visor, which you can't see your face anyway, then you have the full protection there anyway. So this is the new helmet there. I've got one other one, which is if you want really a motorcycle style helmet. This is a full carbon helmet. This is made by Nolan as well. Ultra lightweight, but you can see the difference. This is kind of more of a motorcycle helmet. Offers you great protection, but going to have a little bit more weight to it. And yeah, so that's another option right there in full face helmets.
Okay, so Steve, tell me more about these helmets that are coming in that are just not at the safety standard.
So the thing with Nolan is Nolan's made 100% in Italy, right? So the safety standards in Italy are very high. In Europe, they're very high. What a lot of the helmets that are being sold locally are coming in from Asian countries that have no helmet laws. So if you're in a country with no helmet law, anything is going to pass. Anything's better than nothing. right? So we've seen many helmets during this trade-in that will say name brand names on them, but when you look up, they're made in China, and they'll have these little stickers that say they're okay on them. And we just pick them up, think, oh, it says okay on it.
Just assume that since it says it,
it says it must be good, right?
Right.
You must trust it, it must be okay, and I paid a bunch of money for it.
Right.
So again, when people say, oh, why is the price of Nolan, what am I paying for it? You're paying for a helmet that's properly safety certified. The other thing with cheap helmets, like I said, when they're plastic, when the sun hits them and they expand and contract, they can be certified in the beginning, but within a few months of being overheated, because they're plastic, they're no longer safe. If you retested them, they wouldn't pass then. Nolan's not like that. Nolan's made with Lexan, like we mentioned, bulletproof glass, and that doesn't expand and contract.
Right.
So there's no breakdown that you get with the plastic helmets.
And in a place like Bermuda, it's so hot, you know, you're going to have that issue.
That's right. You put your helmet under your seat, you put your helmet in the box, and the helmet sits there all day expanding, contracting from the heat. You put on your head thinking, oh, it's a good helmet. Then it hits the ground and it doesn't protect.
Right. It's a whole different story at that point.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Okay. They've come a long way from those little half shell helmets that just sat on top of your head there.
Well, we have people come in all the time and they're like, oh, I want to get a half shell. I want to get one of those ones that my ears are open. And it's unfortunate, you see the rental bikes, you see the tourists, that's what they give to our tourists.
Yes.
And Nolan used to make that helmet and they discontinued it because it doesn't cover the ear. And people think, oh, my ears are fine as long as my head is protected. But if you get impacted from here, it causes brain damage. You can die from an impact to the side. So Nolan completely took off half shell helmets out of their lineup completely.
Which makes sense.
Exactly. But a lot of people don't realize this. A lot of people just think, oh, it's a helmet as long, I just like the cool air. But when you have that coming around the ear there, it's designed, it has to come to a certain level to give you that protection there.
Right, because in worst case scenario, you want to be as protected as possible.
That's right.
Which,
well, of course. Yeah, and people never think, they think, you think, oh, I'm going to accident, I'll be fine. When you're falling and you're out of control, you don't know what's going to hit and when's going to hit. You know what I mean? So you want to have that security. Like when that would happen with Ron, he's a normal rider. He was driving in broad daylight and like nothing going on. And next thing, something happened, and you'd think, how come he couldn't stop that from happening? And he got hit right in the face in broad daylight. He didn't see it coming. When you're in an accident and in that state of panic, you don't always see it. So
and you have no control over what's going to happen.
You really don't. And you want to know that what's on your head is going to do its job. You don't have to worry about that anymore. You know what I mean? To then have to worry about what's on my head doing its job. On top of that, at least when you get a Nolan, you get a top quality helmet like this, you don't have to think about it. That's going to do its job. You then have to protect your body.
Right. And I mean, everyone always talks about how much it costs, but you're paying for the quality. Yeah,
we have people all the time. They come in and they say, oh, why is a helmet? And for example, this helmet here, we're introducing this one now at $349. And $349 is a full face version. So many people think, oh, a full face must be $800, $1,000. Or $500? No, $349. And we're introducing it at the same price as without the jaw piece. So you can get the jaw piece one full protected for $349, the same price as without the jaw piece.
Okay. Prices.
Yes. A lot of people ask about the prices. Like, why, again, getting back onto why it's so expensive. You know what I ask people? How much did you pay for your cell phone?
Probably over $1,000.
So you paid $1,000 for your cell phone, but you're going to fuss about $349 for a helmet.
For protection.
Right? For protecting your skull, which is more important. I'll let you answer that for yourself.
Excellent point, yes. I'll definitely prefer the protection over my phone.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely. So, but with the trade-in though, is there like an incentive? Do people get any kind of a deal?
Yeah, so the way the trade-in is work, the way we're doing it is the trade-in is if you trade in an old Nolan helmet in any condition, often people will say to us, oh, what condition? I got an old junky one. We want the worse the better. Trade it in. We want to get the unsafe helmet. This promotion is to give everybody an opportunity to have a top quality helmet at a good price. So if you trade in a Nolan helmet, you can have this full face helmet right here, the top of the line, the latest one out for $249. Okay? You can't go wrong with that.
You cannot.
If you don't have a Nolan helmet, you have any other brand of helmet, we'll take those as well. And we trade those and you get $50 discount. It's one helmet for one purchase. You can't bring in 5 helmets for one helmet.
Right.
we got to stay in business as well.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
The idea is just to give people a little deal on it. It's been very effective. People are very grateful for it. And we've actually seen many people come in that have traded their helmets in and since had accidents and come back and traded in again and said, if I hadn't traded that helmet in, I don't know if I would have been here. So we've seen that 5 times at least. replaced.
Wow.
Yeah, so they've had bad accidents since with the new helmet, and they come in and even traded that one in because they've had an accident with it. So yeah, it's an awesome program, awesome opportunity. We intend to keep it going as long as it's feasible. It is working right now, and it's effective, and we're making a difference out there, we think, and we're running business. So it's good. It's good for us. It's a win-win. We're giving our local population an awesome helmet, a safe helmet, and it's good for our business as well. So everybody wins.
Absolutely. And a point to note: the standard to keep your helmet is 3 to 5 years. Yeah,
we say 3 to 5 years, but if you crash it or smash it or dent it or bang it, anything like that, you should change it right away.
Immediately. Okay.
Yeah, because it does. It weakens the structure of it.
Right, which obviously we don't want.
No,
defeats the purpose of it.
Not when it's protecting your skull or your loved one's skull.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you very much for joining us and for educating us on helmets, because a lot of things you said I did not know, so thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Yes, thank you.
And thank you for having me, everybody. This was awesome.
Thank you very much. And we want to thank Renee and Ron Gilchrist again for coming in and sharing their journey. And we hope that you guys enjoyed the show. And we look forward to seeing you on our next episode. Drive safe, Bermuda. Okay, bye.
Thanks for watching. We hope that you have enjoyed the show. See you next time.